So now we are in Law. That's the best pronunciation I can have. It's Laon. It's kind of like lawn, but not quite. Anyway, we're in a square and we're at the top of a large hill in this medieval town. And I'm just showing you the square so you can see how the cathedral is just right there in the middle of it. And we look at the west front. There are 3 portals. They're quite large. They actually serve as buttresses to help support the cathedral. And this is indeed a Gothic French cathedral. And again, you'll notice that it's not as wide as we're used to seeing in England, but it's very tall. So we've gone inside to look at the nave, and you'll notice immediately that it has a much lighter feel than the cathedral we were in earlier. We still have the 4 levels, so we're still in this experimental stage. And you will notice that you don't see any chantry chapels around the sides the way we saw those so commonly in England. So we're going to have a little rib vault lesson here real fast. What we're looking at is what's called the sexpartite vault. Now first notice that you have what we call transverse ribs. They go from one side of the building to the other without crossing anything. And if we look between the transverse ribs, we'll see how the webbing, that's the area between the ribs, is divided into 6 sections. And this is why it's called a sexpartite vault. Now what's going on here? The diagonal ribs, the ones that cross each other, are connecting 2 bays. You'll note that there's 2 clerestory windows within or between the transverse ribs that just go from side to side. So the sexpartite vault was an experimentation of early Gothic, and eventually it's going to go away, and we have only 4 sections instead of 6. We climbed up one of the tower's spiral stone staircases to take a look at what's going on the gallery level. And it's here where the masons of today are doing a lot of repair work. One of the things they're doing is repairing the gargoyles, and this is a photo of one. A gargoyle is essentially a rain spout. And here we can see where the trough has been cut in, and the gargoyle's open mouth is where the rainwater eventually will emerge, carrying it safely away from the side of the cathedral's walls. This is our last photo on the inside of the Cathedral Notre in Laon, and we're looking at the east end, and you can see that it's very flat. This is more characteristic of English cathedrals. Normally the French ones are going to have that semicircular apse east end, but I like the flat ones because it allows for larger windows, which is what we see here. Above we see that beautiful rose window, and then we have 3 lancet windows below it that are behind the high altar.